What's up, guys? It's your boy Bilo back again, and I, like many of you this week on Wednesday, heard that Line 6 was offering its native trial 15-day version, and I immediately got mine from Sweetwater, as many of you did. And I tell you what, it's Sunday now, and I've had it since Wednesday, so I've had a couple days to mess with it. And I am a Helix LT owner, so I will be making the purchase for this. Hopefully they'll bring the price down for the LT people, but if not, then it is what it is, right? When I pay it, it'll be $299 for me, and it's $99 for regular Helix people, also the rack mount people, and then I believe it's $399 for people who don't have any of the Helix hardware. So I just want to do a hang-in with the Helix series here for a couple of videos. I'm running through my Dell. This is just an XPS 13, so nothing fancy. Got a Focusrite Solo. Got a Squire Telecaster. This isn't a vintage modified or anything like that. This is just a parts caster, essentially. I've done a lot of upgrades to this thing, and it's pretty fly, rocking the Polytune. With that being said, so we're just going to run right in here to my software. I'm running Reaper, and so this is how you use this. In case if you don't know, okay, I'm sure you do, is you insert a virtual track after you install Helix, and so mine are in VST3, and there we go. Now I've got Helix rolling, it's coming up. I like to get away with my float screen, and then that gets rid of this big white thing. I don't really mess with DAW too much, so this is just the way I do things. And your way may be better, and if you have any suggestions for me, please let me know. Anyway, so input stereo 1 and 2, now we have guitar. So right off the bat, we are in the USA double norm. Kind of a hot-rodded Telecaster, so definitely got a lot more than just what a Tele would have with my Dragonfire pickups, Dragonfire Strat Screamer, and then a like a duo rail. So I just want to go through some of the workflow that I usually do. So as a Helix owner, it's a pain in the ass to sit there and like hit the little joystick thing down, left, oh my god, right, select. It's a pain in the ass. So immediately right off the bat, the Helix native workflow is incredibly awesome because the Helix LT and all that stuff are not touchscreen, so you have to use the cursors. It's a pain in the ass. With that being said, so we'll just kind of move fast through here. So if you're new to this, there's certain things you cannot do that you can do with the Helix LT and full version, is like the loopers, the volume pedal. I mean, you don't have an expression pedal. That's one of the things with the native, and I'm not mad at Line 6 for this, but there's no effects loop or effects send, so there's none of that going on here. So I can't use, like, on my LT, I actually have a pedal board with it, so I have like my Big Sky, and then my Strymon Big Sky, and then my Friedman BEOD pedal, right? And those are on two different sends, send 1 and send 2. So I can just, and I use the BEOD pedal for all of my patches, and I use that Strymon Big Sky for all of my patches for obvious reasons. With that being said, so here's what I usually do whenever I mess around in here. And I wanted to say right off the bat that on this native trial, there isn't an ability to save. So let's go to my user, and so I've tried to save all these patches, and they don't look anything how whenever I right-click copy and right-click paste them into the new preset patch. So unless I'm doing something wrong, I'm just not able to save patches here, which is a little bit of an annoyance. So we'll just go to the factory. So we'll go through some of the patches here, and yeah, that sounds like an AC30, a shitty one. Yeah, really, I mean, just, I can't do this. Yeah, I just, for me, I hate the cabs. I hate the cabs. And so for me, I have to absolutely use my IRs, and I have a bunch of IRs from... Just sounds terrible. So I have a bunch of IRs. I've got Ownhammer, I've got Rosen, and I'm not being paid by anyone for saying this. I paid for all my stuff myself. Okay, I pay for everything by myself and my Sweetwater card. The Ownhammer IRs are really good, but the best IRs are the Rosen digital audio, and so There are 4 that I think you absolutely have to have from the Rosen. That's the EDS amp, the EVH amp, the Mesa Oversize amp, and then maybe the Atlantic. Those are like my 4 must-haves for that. And then also you could probably throw in the Rev from Rosen. So those 5 amps, 4 or 5 amps are absolutely, but if you're just going to buy one, buy the EVH 5150. Yes. And then if you're going to buy another one, buy the EDS amp. And then if you're going to buy another one, buy the Atlantic, okay? And then Mesa OS after that, right? With that being said, so here's some of my IRs I have. I have all kinds. I have God's Cabs. I've got Red Wire. You know, I've got a lot of different IRs going on here. And I tell you what, I'm a really big fan of the Rosen ones. With that being said, I have some already loaded here into my Helix native. So we got some presets right here. We're probably going to be using the 5150 for the majority of all the stuff that we're going to be playing with right now. Like I said, am not a fan of the onboard. So we'll just start here. Okay, so here's what I do right off the bat whenever I'm creating a preset here on Helix LT and native. So the first thing I'll do is I'll add my noise gate, and then the second one will be I like to add the studio comp. Okay, so we're good there. And now I like to add a distortion, usually like the Timmy or compulsive drive, throw the gain down and bring up the high peaks. Okay, so now we got amp, right? So we're gonna play with, let me throw my impulse response up first or else it'll make it sound really bad. Okay, so IR, okay, so IR1's immediately selected. We'll throw some low cut in there, about 150, 170, 190, somewhere around there. Okay, now we definitely have, I got some pedals for sale on Facebook, so people are blowing up my Facebook with notifications. Okay, so we're gonna switch to just a straight up amp right here. Yeah, that one sounds good right there. Immediately sounds 1,000 times better. Yeah, definitely. It's just like night and day. The onboard cabs, I haven't spent more than a day or two with them because I hate them, and I know that sounds really limiting and narrow-minded, but you know, so be it, right? So here we go. Let's mess around with my delays. I like all the delays, to be perfectly honest, and sometimes the Elephant Man just seems to do it for me. I want to change it to time, and yeah, these people are blowing me up with my pedals, man. I got some pedals on sale on fucking Facebook here in Houston, Texas, man, and I put up like 70 pedals for sale, and people are just blowing me up, man. I got people offering like $30 for a fucking Archer. Are you kidding me, dude? Are you serious? Get the hell out of here, man. Anyways, yeah, I think this is pretty good right here for. Maybe we'll use a different delay. Let's just do the simple delay. How about that? Right, we'll go. I like 420, you know, 420, 430, somewhere around there. Yeah, and then we'll lower the mix. Okay, so you know, if there's anything you take away from this video, is definitely use Rosen IRs, and then my little trick that I do. This is something that I do for all my patches on my Helix LT. Yeah, this is pretty good. I like this. This is actually just coming together pretty nice. I like this setup I have going on here. It's definitely. Yeah, this kid's just really persistent about those pedals. Okay, so my number one trick for using the Helix native is something I do on my LT. Okay, make 2 lines. If you're just gonna and copy your pedals. So I do like preamp line 1 and post-amp line 2, right? So I just copy, paste, and then copy, paste. This way, on the Helix, you can get more processing power going on there, right? That's just something that I do for my Helix, right? And when I do that, it just makes it makes everything sound really good. Okay, so now we have two setups here where we got our amp, we got our IR, and then everything after the IR. Okay, so here's my second trick, and my most important one is use the optical trim at 1N1. So here's without the optical trim. Sounds pretty good, right? And now here's with the optical trim. It just like brings it right out. And this happens in real life, man. If you use a tremolo on a circuit at the very end, like post amp, a tremolo circuit, it will just bring character to the amp in real amps. So. See what I'm saying? It's a big difference. So for dirty, for clean, for lead, especially if you're doing single string, single note like leads, gotta have that. Yeah, you see how much of a big difference that makes? All right, let's try a different amp. So yeah, this is pretty much the setup I use for all of my LT stuff on my real Helix. This is how I set everything up. I use the gate, right? Just a straight up noise gate pedal, whatever that is. And then I use a studio comp absolutely every single time. And then, you know, a compulsive drive or a Timmy, depending on the amp, depending on the pickups, really. So I typically rock, you know, single coil neck and then whatever for the bridge. And so typically I need something that's a little bit fatter. Whereas if I was rocking one of my Gibsons, I'd need something a little bit not so fat, right? So yeah, so this is pretty much, you know, the workflow. It's really streamlined and it's awesome here for Helix Native. I really am a fan of it. I kind of wish the Helix had a touchscreen on it. But because it doesn't have a touchscreen, this is what it is right here. This is as good as it's going to get. Okay, anyways, so we'll turn that back on. Let's mess around with another amp. So that was my Brit, and I usually hang out with that amp right there a lot, so that was pretty much canned. Let's go to the, let's check out the Cali stuff. So this is the Mesa stuff, right? So. I'm really not a chorus person, but you know, for giggles, let's throw one on there just to see what happens. Let's just throw a chorus. I really don't even mess with chorus, to be honest. I kind of, let's see here, rate, depth, yeah. Okay. Sounds really good. I find that a lot of, the modelers struggle making a good clean tone, believable clean tone. Got a lot of hair on that already. So yeah, that's the Cali rhythm 2, so the rhythm lead up. The rhythm lead. Turn my... Yeah, that rectifier is something else, I'll tell you what. I like it a lot, but it's hard for me to get something going good out of there that doesn't suck. What happened to my time? Okay, because it sounds like it's doing like a dotted eighth or something like that, doesn't it? Doesn't it sound like that? Whatever. Okay, so back to the ramp. So yeah, we're just kind of going through some of the workflow stuff, and this is kind of, you know, whenever I'm dinking around with my Helix LT, this is what I pretty much primarily do, and I just mess around with different gain pedals and just kind of see what I like. So, you know, one of the things that for me is that I found using a lot of modeling stuff that I've messed around with is that the high gain modeling usually sucks. And so just like in my opinion, using high gain amps usually sucks for medium to low volume situations. What I always recommend, and what I recommend in the modeler, which I think Helix did get right here in the Line 6 did get right at the Helix, is if you use a clean amp and you boost it, you definitely get a really good rich tone of harmonic overtones. So with that being said, I want to show you the divided duo amp. I'm really a big fan of this amp, like big time. That and the matchstick stuff. So let's just hang out with this divided duo thing. So it's like a divided by 13 amp, I guess, right? And so what I do is I'll kind of just turn that gain down. And one thing you're going to notice right off the bat with some of these amps is you get that bell sound. That's just amazing. All right, let's boost it. All right, let's see what we got here. A lot of gain there, man. I kind of don't like it so gainy. It's unpredictable. The Helix, they did a good job of replicating the unpredictable nature of real amps. That's one of the problems I think modelers have in general, is sounding believably unpredictable. Got a lot of a lot of low tone. Okay, so that's a divided amp. I also like this matchstick stuff. It's really a lot of fun. Okay, so immediately right off the bat, we got a lot of. Now this is the amp that I think has the best harmonic overtones. It's like a really nice warm and hot Vox. And by warm and hot, I don't mean like as in being pushed hard. I mean as like been on all day. Yeah, my Vox, when I spend all day in the studio with it, towards the end of the day, it starts to sound sweet. It just sounds amazing. I love my Vox so much, my real Vox. Let's bring this down a little bit. Change delays. There's something going on with this delay I'm not happy with right now. Let's go to the vintage digital. Yeah, there you go. That works. Vintage digital. Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna change our time to 4:30. Yeah, there we go. Something like that. Okay, that sounds pretty good right there, just like that. Yeah, there we go. Sounds good. Yeah, that's one thing I love about this, right? Is like it sounds very clean, open, dynamic, and spacious. I mean, it's really hard to not sound like a douchebag when trying to describe what I'm trying to tell you here, but it's there. Just trust me. Let's turn down some of the gain in the amp. The only problem is the balls kind of fall out, so we got to do something to bring that back. Right about there. So, one of the cool things about this is just, it's already integrated, right? And so if I just had my headphone out of my little Focusrite Solo, I can come in here and check out my jam tracks, right? So we'll just kind of dink around in A minor and just, who knows? Who knows, right? Let's just see what happens here, right? Let's just see how this goes. So we'll go back. Okay, so we're sitting right here on, elevated jam tracks, right? So we got smooth atmospheric groove in A minor. So let's give this a listen. And let's see how well Helix plays, how nicely Helix plays. So we'll have our gain down. So I'm easily not the best guitarist in the world. I'm still just... All right, let's go. So this is what I do on the couch, literally. This is my favorite thing to do all day long. This is, I mean, I can do this all day, man. Then we just kind of come back, we throw in a little bit of gain, and we're just fucking totally just... So yeah, I mean that's how the Helix LT and the native here plays with other stuff. So, you know, not a jam track, none of that stuff, nothing pre-produced. We just go straight to YouTube as you would sitting there on your couch with your headphones on, with your laptop, your computer, I mean your laptop, your guitar, and your Focusrite, you know, and you just throw on a jam track and you just start going to town with it. I mean, this is like the best setup in the world for that. I really wish that Line 6 would consider making a Helix the same size as the Amplify TT. That would be amazing. Right, like a standalone Amplify TT Helix. That would be like the best thing in the world, integrated with my iPad so I can control it and all the workflows, just like how you see it right here on native. It's just amazing. So yeah. Anyway, so that's you know, that's this whole thing, right? It's really a big simplification of the already existing Helix stuff, man. I'm really a big fan of the Helix stuff. I can't say enough about it. The only thing I'm not happy about is the price of what Line 6 is going to do with that whole thing with LT owners, etc. You know. Anyway, so this is my YouTube channel right here. It's Bilo. Come hang out with me. Yeah. Line 6 Helix native. We'll come back again. We'll do another video with it after I probably buy the full version. Hopefully they'll put on the full version saving and the looping and all that kind of thing. Be sure to hit the subscribe button because you know, I have patches that I'm updating and uploading onto my Patreon account, and I'm just going to make everything free. And as I make more and more patches and get better and better at making patches, I think you'll want to hear them. You'll want to give them a shot because I've been doing this for about a month now, and I'm like overwhelmed with the sounds that I have now. I haven't even turned on my tube amps in like almost 60 days now, so it's pretty sad. But you know, I'm happy with the Helix. You know, it does great for me, and this is an awesome setup right here. It's everything I need to do, and you know, that 20% of tubeness that isn't there, whenever I turn on a backing track and I'm playing with it, with the guitar and all that, I can't tell that it's not there, so it's not even on my radar. Anyways, that's been this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me in the Helix native app here. Tell me what you think, man. What kind of what's your favorite amp, and what kind of IRs are you rocking? With recommendation from me, I think the EVH 5150 IR #1 from Rosen Digital Audio is the best. And then always, like I said, whenever you got the very end of your chain, your signal chain here, like you would typically on the LT have like your looper right there from the last block. But on this second to last block or the last block, make sure you throw the optical trim with 1 and 1. Thank me later on that. You'll see what I'm talking about. It just brings everything alive. Just like on a real tube amp, by the way. On my Fenders and my Voxes, when I use the onboard vibrato right setting, you know, the tremolo, and I put it very low, you know, like width and very low intensity, just like 1 and 1, you know, it completely just opens up the amp, and it makes like the amp feel like a multi-dimensional reverb without being all reverb tanky. You know what I mean? It's just really, especially when you do have the reverb going in there, it just having that tremolo really is just untouchable. It's unmesswithable, you know, unfuckwithable, as I would say. Anyway, so that's been this video. I'll catch you guys next week. We'll do some more Helix hangout, and tell me what you think. Please subscribe, like, comment, and get fucked. Okay, stop recording. All right, we're done. So the coolest thing about this whole deal is if you have a Helix floor or rack, is you can mess around with your stuff here, and then like port that stuff directly into the Helix floor, and then you're good to go, right? So it's a really cool thing because I've gone on several road trips now, you know, going to visit my my family in Dallas, and I've become addicted to the LT Helix, and I've had to take that with me, and it's just really big and heavy, man. It just takes up a lot of space. It's fragile, it's delicate, it's heavy. A lot of cables going on there for the complex routing that I do, and then it's a pain in the ass because it can get stolen. You know, it totally could get stolen. So with that being said, having the Helix inside my computer, the native, you know, so like my packing then goes to just bring in my laptop, my Focusrite Solo, and my guitar, and a couple cables, you know, the USB and the guitar cable, and I'm set. And so I have my tone everywhere I go, consistency all day long. It's absolutely unbeatable. So I recommend getting the Helix Native. Absolutely spend the money to do it and enjoy it. And if you have any questions, hit me up in the comment section below, and I'll reach out to me and I'll answer any questions. If I have an answer, I'll help you get an answer, because this is awesome. This is the best thing in the world. I'm a big fan of Helix and Line 6 of what they've done with Helix, and now having native is amazing. All right, guys, rock on. I'll catch you guys next week, and hell yeah, this is a badass product.